Hello students. Today in this video of us, we are going to learn about what is the role of microbes as biocontrol agents and as biofertilizers. Now, what do you mean by biocontrol agent? Biocontrol means the one who is controlling a living organism and controlling the another living organism. That is the biocontrol. So this biocontrol, microbes are doing this biocontrol and thing is biocontrol agents, and biocontrol is the control of one organism over the other, because in ecosystem we know that there are predators and prey. For example, deer is what? Deer is a prey and lion is a predator. So if we do not want deer in any ecosystem, then we should have lions in that, because lion is a predator and deer is the prey. So similarly, if we know the habitat of the organism and if we know the predator and prey relationship, we can find out that who is controlling whom, like who can control whom, who eats whom. So this is the basic thing which is required to use microbes as biocontrol agents. For example, suppose there are rats in your house. So what should you do? Either you have to spray the rodenticides, the chemicals which are killing the rats, or you have to use that Lakshman Rekha, that is also a chemical. So if you are using chemical, these chemicals are poisonous. These chemicals, because rats are basically in kitchen, or rats are basically in storage things where the grains are kept, grains are stored. If we want to control rats, what biologically we can do is we can bring we can bring cat. So if cat is around, there will be control on the population of rats. So this is the example to tell you what do we mean by biocontrol. So in spite of using chemical insecticides, chemical pesticides, which are very, very harmful for us, because these insecticides and pesticides which we are spraying on our crops, they get stick to the leaves, fruits and vegetables, and when we bring them in home, these things go into our stomach, because this is what has happened with DDT. If we what a bio and biological magnification is there, so the concentration of these chemicals are increasing in the higher trophic level of the ecosystem, and we are at the top. So in our body, the concentration of these chemicals are increasing day by day. So to reduce that, the new concept which has come is the biological management of pests. And in this we are using microbes as biocontrol agents. So here also the microorganisms are acting as our friends, and they are helping us in the controlling of bioagents. So chemical insecticides and pesticides are very harmful because they kill the useful and harmful life forms indiscriminately. Now what does this mean? Suppose you want to kill A, but there is B also, there is C also, there is D also. The B, C and D will also get killed by using insecticides and pesticides, because they are also living organisms and they also react to the toxic substances which are present in the pesticides and insecticides. So the chemicals, they indiscriminately kill the life forms. Whereas if we are using biocontrol agents, like suppose you are using a cat, so the cat will kill the rat. So that is the specificity which is present in when we are using biocontrol agents. And then these insecticides and pesticides are toxic to human beings as well as in the long run, because as I told you that these substances from fields are coming into our stomach, because we are getting fruits, vegetables, grains, pulses from the market, and these things are getting stick to the leaves, to the fruits, to the vegetables, to grains, and ultimately they are going in our stomach. So they are affecting the human being and they are toxic to human beings. If all insect, that's why these days organic farming is in fashion. What is organic farming? Where no chemical is being used. All natural things have been used, like they are using the manure to grow the crop, and they are using the biocontrol agents, and they are using the biofertilizers. So if all insects of a particular species are killed, then the natural predator-prey relationship and food chains will get distorted. Now, what does this mean? Suppose we are killing all species of a particular insect. What will happen? Now, that insect has a role to play. We have learned in ecosystem that every organism has a role to play in the ecology. So if we are killing, or if we are destroying one particular species, the effect is on all the whole habitat, because we are destroying the predator prey relationship. And if this natural predator prey relationship is destroyed, then the food chains are distorted. So hence biological means of to eradicate pests can be used. So in biocontrol agents, we are using the biological means to eradicate the pests. What are pests? Pests are the organisms which are harming plants. So this requires knowledge of the life forms. Now for that, what we should know? We should know that who is killing whom. Then only the predator and prey relationship of all life forms of that particular habitat that inhabit in a particular area. In your farm, like for a farmer, what is the particular area? Is farm. So he should know that in his farm what all organisms are present and what all predator and prey relationships are existing in those living organisms, their life cycles. Now, at the same time, we should be familiar about their life cycles. Like for many insects, there is egg, larvae, pupa, and then adult. So we should be knowing their life cycles as well, and patterns of feeding and preferred habitat. What do they like to eat and what are their preferred habitats? So, for example, one example is given, that is ladybird and the dragonfly. These are the organisms, these are the insects which are used to get rid of aphids and mosquitoes. That means ladybird and dragonfly are the predators and their preys are aphids and mosquitoes. Now, suppose you want to eradicate or you want to control the population of aphids and mosquitoes, then you should keep ladybirds and dragonfly in that place. So that is called biological control of the pest. Now, microbes can also, now ladybirds and dragonflies are insects. We can use microbes also in the same manner. And in the microbes, the best example is Bacillus thuringiensis. Now, this Bacillus thuringiensis is, in short, it is called BT. It's a bacteria which is used to control butterfly caterpillars. Now, what happens? This bacteria is available in the sachet, in the powdered form, dried spores. So, what the farmers are doing? They are spraying this bacteria on their crops. Now, what happens when these spores they are eaten by the larva of the bacteria of the butterfly? They kill the larva, and they will kill only that larva, not the other insects. So the advantage here is that it is killing only the pest. It is not killing the other insects which may be useful for the ecology, environment, and maybe for that crop. So this bacterium is available in sachet as dried spores, which are sprayed on the crops. The spores get into the gut of the larva and kill it, while the other insects remain unperturbed. means the other insects are not disturbed, not affected by this bacteria. So this bacteria is the one example of a microbe which is acting as a biological pest control method. So this is biological agent which is controlling the pest. Now by methods of genetic engineering, the genes, genetic engineering we will learn now in the next this thing, biotechnology. So by genetic engineering, now what they have done, they have put the genes of this bacteria, Bacillus thuringiensis, into the larva, into the plant. So when the larva is eating the plant, it will get killed. So now this has also been done, and when that genetically modified plant is called BT. So there are BT cotton plants, BT tomato plants, where this bacteria, by genetic engineering, the genes of this bacteria has been put into the plant itself. So no need of putting that sachet or spraying that spores form of the bacteria. It is incorporated into the plant itself, and now this plant is disease resistant. Why? Because this plant is having this gene in it, and when the caterpillar, the larvae is eating that plant, the larva will get killed because of this. So this is done by the genetic engineering, and the plant which is after the incorporation of that gene is called genetically modified organism. So this GMO, and one best example is BT cotton. So cotton plant with BT gene incorporated is called BT cotton. So BT cotton is a plant where that bacteria gene is incorporated into the plant genome. Then another example is Trichoderma fungus, which is living in the roots of plants, and this is also acting as a biocontrol agent against several plant pathogens. So this is another example of microbe helping as a biocontrol agent for against the pests. Then there is baculoviruses, which are particularly the genus Nucleopolyhedrovirus. They are also used as a narrow spectrum insecticidal agents. Insecticidal agents means the agents which are killing the insects. Now, biocontrol agents are particularly useful when useful insects are required to be conserved. What is actually they are? They are killing the particular insect, not the other insects. If we are spraying insecticide, the insecticides is they are insecticide chemicals. They are not able to discriminate between the pest insect and the other useful insect. But these biocontrol agents, they are killing or harming only the insect which is acting as a pest and not the useful insects. So when we want to conserve the useful insects, when we want the plants to be organic, when we want no harmful chemicals on them, when we want to protect ourselves from the various diseases which are caused due to these harmful chemicals in our body, then we should practice this biocontrol agent for management, which is called integrated pest management program. It is also called biological pest management program. So what is this integrated pest management program? Where we are managing the pest by using the microbes or other living organisms. So when living organisms are used as a control for the other living organisms, it is called biocontrol agent. And microbes, because here in this chapter we are more concentrated, we are more focused on the role of microbes. So microbes are also acting as biocontrol agents. And how they are acting, we have seen the bacteria, thuringiensis, Then we have seen the trichoderma fungus, then baculoviruses. These are all microbes which are acting as a biocontrol agents. Now, another role of microbes as biofertilizers. Fertilizers, we know. What are fertilizers? Fertilizers are chemicals which are having the specific nutrients in them, and we put that fertilizer in the soil to supply the soil with the nutrients and to make the soil nutrient enriched for the plant. So for that we are using fertilizers. But these fertilizers slowly and slowly creating soil pollution. They are changing the nature of the soil. They are changing the texture of the soil. And ultimately these chemicals are going into the plants. And from plants, these chemicals are coming to us in human beings and other organisms as well. And these chemicals are being washed away by the water winds, by the water currents and the wind currents, and ultimately they are going and accumulating into the water bodies, nearby water bodies, and that is creating eutrophication. So water pollution, air pollution, soil pollution, all these are the problems by using chemical fertilizers. And there was one period when the immense use of these chemical fertilizers, indiscriminate use of these chemical fertilizers had affected our crops too much. So then there was this awakening, and the people started working for some alternative, and the best alternative for us these days is the microbes as biofertilizers. That means fertilizers, that to living fertilizers. These are called biofertilizers. We have studied since 6th and 7th, you are studying about nitrogen fixing bacteria with leguminous plants. So what are these nitrogen fixing bacteria doing? They are enriching the soil with nitrogen. So they are acting as a fertilizer. So they are biofertilizers. And you must have heard about the green manure. So before plowing the field, the crops are grown, some species are grown on the field, and then in plowing they get mixed with the soil and they enrich the soil with the nutrients. They are called green manure. So microbes are acting as a biofertilizer. Here we are more focused for the role of the microbes. So we will see how microbes are acting as biofertilizers. Chemical fertilizers contribute to the pollution. Biofertilizers are organisms that enrich the nutrient quality of the soil. So that means without using any harmful chemicals, we can enrich the soil with nutrients. We can help the plant grow better. We can help the plant grow healthier with the help of these biofertilizers. What role was for chemical fertilizers? The same role is played by the biofertilizers. Now, biofertilizers are the organisms that enrich the nutrient quality of the soil. Many bacteria, fungi, and cyanobacteria, they are acting as biofertilizers. They act as biofertilizers, how? By living in symbiotic association with root. Some of the bacteria, they live with the root nodules of the leguminous plant, like rhizobium. So rhizobium is living symbiotically with the roots of the leguminous plant, and with the roots of the leguminous plant, it is enriching the soil. Now there are another bacteria which are freely available in the soil. This rhizobium is in the symbiotic association. These bacteria fix atmospheric nitrogen and enrich the nitrogen content of the soil. Now fungi also form symbiotic association with plants, mycorrhiza. We have learned about mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza is again the symbiotic association of fungus with the root of the plants. And the example is glomus, is one fungi. Now what this fungi is doing? It is absorbing the phosphorus from the soil and then passing it to the plant. So this is how it is helping to in the growth of the plant, and it is also acting as a biofertilizer. Then cyanobacteria such as Nostoc, Anabina, they also fix atmospheric nitrogen, and they also act as biofertilizers, especially in paddy fields. Biofertilizers are microorganisms that add to the nutrient quality of the soil. Bacteria, fungi, and algae are some of the beneficial microorganisms that help in improving the fertility of the soil. Biofertilizers are classified as free-living nitrogen-fixing bacteria such as Azotobacter and Rhizobium. This is Rhodospirillum is the free-living, and Rhizobium is the in the symbiotic association. Several microorganisms are commonly used as biofertilizers, including nitrogen-fixing soil bacteria, Azotobacter. Rhizobium is in the symbiotic association with the root nodules of the leguminous plant. Then fungus is with the root of the gymnosperms, mycorrhiza. So nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria, that is Anabina, phosphate solubilizing bacteria, that is Pseudomonas, and fungi. So these all are acting as biofertilizers. So one is what? One advantage is that we are not using any harmful chemicals. Another advantage are that these biofertilizers are low cost. The cost of these fertilizers is nothing in comparison to the chemical fertilizers. Third thing, they are renewable sources of plant nutrients. That means this is a renewable source which is helping in the good nutrition, enriching the nutrients of the plant. So these all are the advantages of biofertilizers, and there is a role of microbes in biofertilizers as well. So we have seen that how microbes are helping as a biocontrol agents and as biofertilizers in the field of agriculture.